Hey, Butterfly Babes. I am Monique Rogers. I am super excited to be here today, relaunching, I guess you would say, my YouTube channel. I want to get back into sharing things that I've learned, some little nuggets and things I've learned over the last four, almost 5 decades of my life. I am Coach Mo, better known as Coach Mo, your self-discovery bestie and blooming buddy here in Jacksonville, Florida. And my mission right now is to support and advocate for married moms. As a married mom of almost 27 years, four children, I have a lot of information that I want to share, just some wisdom, some knowledge, whatever I can do to add to the value of the YouTube world where people are coming to, learn things and better their lives. And so here I am today. And the one thing before I get started about the topic we're going to get into is I use the ARM framework. And A is for activating your courage. R is for rediscovering your identity. And M is for metamorphosizing your life and your family. So let's get into it because we're raising our arm in victory today. There's a proverb. Read it when you get an opportunity. Proverbs 17:21. No, I'm sorry. Proverbs 31:17. It talks about how God gives us strength for all of our God-giving tasks. He strengthens our arm to do everything that He has called us to do. And today, I'm just simply here to strengthen your arm to continue on as we begin the conversation on relationships. It is a hot topic. I am late 40s. I am almost 50 years old and wanted to chime in on my experience over the years with relationships. Now, I want to give credit to a lady. I meant to find her video before I came on today so I can give her full credit. And if I find it, I will drop it in the caption, in the comment section, so that you can go check it out. And so on TikTok, and if you want to follow me on TikTok, I am your self-discovery bestie on TikTok. Let's link up over there too, girl. Let's be besties. So there's a lady, she was talking about ships and how ships are designed to take you to a location. And she was referencing relationships. And so, how our relationships should add value to our lives, right? And I'm like, oh, that's so good. Saved it, hearted it up. That was really good. I love how she was talking about partnerships in your relationships, your friendships, and all these different ships are to take you somewhere. And lately, I've been having these conversations, especially with one of my really, really good friends, best friends, and our relationship was just a little bit strained. We were trying to, like, get back on track. Life had kind of separated us, and we were just trying to figure out we still best friends, like where we are, in our friendship. And after having a few conversations, we decided that we value one another and we wanted to continue to nurture the relationship. And so talking to my sister as well. Also, we in the same situation where I don't have a lot of friends, don't have time for it. It just be about the competition, to be about this, about that. And I'm like, where are the people that are like me? Genuine, loving, kind, and just want to have a good time and good experiences. And so just to bring it back a little bit about the month of November. The month of November is the month for gratitude. And every day I've been practicing gratitude because I no longer just want to take my life for granted. And yesterday, as I was sitting there, and I was like, man, what am I grateful for today? We always like, oh my God, thank you for picking us up. Thank you for our family, a warm place to sleep and all these things. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to lean into it because I find myself sometimes because I don't have a lot of friendships per se. I have a lot of associates. And sometimes when I'm thinking about it a little bit too deep, I start to feel, I don't know, frustrated, annoyed, irritated that I'm at this place and I don't have these genuine friendships. And it's like, well, what have I been doing over these last, 40 plus years? Have I not shown myself loving and kind? Have I not shown myself to be a good friend? Like, where are the people? And so I thought about the lady on TikTok when she was talking about these relationships, these partnerships, these friendships, and how they're supposed to, take you somewhere. Ship sails. And then also for myself, actually a U.S. Navy veteran, I've lived on a ship. And I started to think about it in that sense of you're on a ship and just thinking about my life as a ship, as a symbolization of a ship. And as far as I can go back, I've always desired to be in these beautiful relationships and long-term relationships, but it just didn't work out. People change, I've changed, people have moved, especially being in the military. You build these relationships and then people, they eventually like move on to different locations and get, stationed in different locations. And so those relationships in a lot of times the relationships that I've had and the ones that have ended, they haven't ended in any like, no bad situation, maybe like one or two. But I'm grateful that for some of those I've had an opportunity to have conversation so that I'm damage the gaps, the bridges rather, right? I've been able to mend those bridges so that I see somebody out on the street, I'll be able to, have a conversation with them, help them be on the side of the road. Because I don't really want no bad blood. Me personally, I don't want to owe nobody nothing but love. And so as I'm thinking about my life as a ship and how it's journey from one location to the next, people are coming on, people are getting off. People are coming on, people are getting off. And as people come on, we're adding value to our lives. Either way, right? There's value being added in these relationships. And these people that have come into our lives and have gone for whatever reason have come for some reason, a season. And some people are still here for a lifetime. I believe our lifetime, no matter what lifetimes, a lot of times I was thinking about it as a best friend would be a lifetime relationship, but it's more of like our spouses and our children, our relatives, and those that you continue to nurture those relationships. You can have estranged family members as well. It's the ones that are in your life that value you, you value them, and you value the connection and the bonding. And you take the time out and be intentional about nurturing the relationship, working through the issues and the problems that come up and the hardships that you experience. Y'all there to support each other along the way. And I realized instead of lamenting over like the relationships that I no longer have or the ones that I desired and they just didn't work out, that I decided to be grateful for those relationships because they all brought me a joy and experience. The ones that didn't work out, or if there was, she was toxic, I was toxic, or he was toxic, I was toxic. I've learned something about myself, and hopefully they did too. I've learned how to forgive. There's so many different gems that we can pick up from our relationships versus, having this negative tone, this negative overview, this overarching theme of like, relationships are fickle and they're this, and that. They're not meant to last always. At the end of the day, our relationships are not meant to last always. Nothing lasts forever. This home won't last forever. These things, eventually this will be in my what I call my giveaway bag, you know, nothing lasts forever. And so I believe that God is so good and there's so much for us to experience in this life that He has given us the gift of each other. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. He's given us the gift of each other to learn, to grow, to expand, to experience hardships, to experience so that you can learn how to forgive, so that you can learn what unconditional love is, so you can tap into the fruit of the Spirit and use these things to develop our communities in such a way, right, where we leave it better than the last, over and over and over again. And so that's what I wanted to come on and share today. I've been listening to a lot of videos about friendships and um, I've been enjoying them as well. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, oh, no new friends, no new friends. I welcome new relationships as they bring new experiences for me. I'm grateful for my old relationships. And I had a moment, an opportunity to just sit down and like think about some of those and some of the fun times that we had and just how things have changed over the years. And a lot of those people I can run into today and we can have a warm embrace and I can have my hellos, my pleasantries, and like, oh my God, it's so good to see you, wish you well, and then continue on in the things that I'm already, the things that I'm already called to do. Purpose is evolving. Relationships evolve and some end, but it is not goodbye. It's just, I'll see you later. Thank you. And I'll see you later. And so I just wanted to come on and add my wisdom and my experience about relationships and how I've decided. And that's the key thing. We have to decide how we want to embrace, how we want to accept things in our life. It's a decision. And I've decided to be grateful, grateful for those relationships. And the ones that I'm adoring right now are the ones that I'm building with my adult children. And the other thing, and I'm glad this came to my mind before I end, is we lament and complain and want and desire to have all these different relationships. But ask yourself, do you or do I have the capacity for all these relationships? So, mind you, right? Think about this. You want all these different relationships and do all these different things. Do you have time? You married with kids? You don't have time to nurture all these different relationships. When people are going through, you're there for them, to spend time with them, to be on the phone and nurture these relationships and communicate and learn. It takes a lot out of you. And especially as your self-discovery bestie, if you're not pouring into yourself, how are you going to be able to manage all these relationships? You would find yourself eventually falling back. People would be like, oh my God, you have been whiny, and then here goes drama. Right? So just being honest with yourself, sitting with yourself and deciding what is it that you want. How are you planning to be intentional in the relationships that you have? Are you being grateful for the ones that you have now? Are you nurturing those relationships? Are you showing yourself to be a good friend? Are you honest? Are you trustworthy? Are you reliable? Are you dependable? Right? And if those are the things that you like, do I need to, I need to kind of work on that, then you have some things that you need to focus on. And as we begin to evolve as women, mothers and wives in our communities, then we can spread that love. We can give that love, right? As we're pouring back into ourselves. So measure your capacity. I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, I got a lot going on. Two of my grown kids moved back, and I want to make sure that my relationship with my husband is amazing. That requires be married. We'll get into marriage relationships, but those relationships, each and every one of them, married, 4 kids, everybody needs something at different times. Sometimes everybody going through, and you got to be able to be who you need to be for each person, for each one of your children, for yourself. And so I'm so grateful for this particular revelation for me. And I'm hoping that as I am sharing and as I decide to come on here and share the things that I've learned and the things that I am currently learning, that we can all grow together in this community, in this world of YouTube University. And so as I come to a closing, just remember, right? You are loved. And the most important relationship is the relationship with yourself. Learn how to be your own best friend. One of the most important commandments in the Bible, it says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. If we're not loving ourselves, how do you plan to even love your neighbor? How do you plan to love your husband and your children? Where's the love coming from if it's not within? So continue to pour into you. And as you pour into you, the love authentically and with intentionality will flow through your home and through everybody you are meant to touch on this ship, this journey, this ship of your life. And as you continue the journey on this ship, right? People are going to come on in each port. You're going to stop in these different little locations and ports and stuff like that, right? People are going to come on the ship and they're going to get off. They're going to come on, they're going to get off. And they're going to have something to add, something to take over and over again until. But God's good. He is so good. There are so many more people that we're supposed to meet on this journey to get us where we're supposed to go, to fulfill ultimately the purpose for which He has called us to do. And so with that, I will end it. And I'm hoping that this information, that I'm sharing with you today, this wisdom, I feel like, I'm coming into my wisdom era, right? As I'm approaching 50, and I got a little something that I can say, little experiences we could talk about. So drop in the comments what stood out to you the most. And I'll be back soon. I am Malik Rogers, your self-discovery bestie and your blooming buddy. And I'll see you soon.